Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Briarios Karensky and welcome to the review of Hajimari no Kiseki, the latest entry in the long-running Trails saga, now spanning 10 entries divided into 3 sub-series, Liberl, Cold Steel and Crossbell. The latter sadly never saw release outside Japan despite sharing world, characters, concepts and crossing each other multiple times. Hajimari takes place after the events of Cold Steel 4, during Crossbell's celebration of regained independence. During the celebration, Rufus Alvarea stages a coup d'etat and takes control of the city through a mind control spell. Lloyd, leader of the Crossbell Special Support Section and main character of the Crossbell games, tries to stop him but he's forced to retreat after a sounding defeat. In the meantime, Rin and the members of the New Class 7, the ones from Cold Steel 3 and 4, are visiting the Schwarzer barony when they get the news. They quickly mobilize to help Lloyd and crew. In a third storyline, we are introduced to Swin and Nadia, two couriers intent in delivering a large briefcase to an unknown recipient. This recipient is soon revealed to be the mysterious masked man only known as C. The contents of the briefcase? A sentient doll called Lapis Rosenberg. You can switch between the parties of these 3 main characters whenever you want, although the game doesn't allow to get too far ahead with someone and you'll need to catch up with the rest before continuing with the story. Storylines run parallel to each other and at times you'll be able to see an event from 2 different points of views. This is a very nice touch that happens very sparingly, maybe twice throughout the game. The 3 parties will soon meet in the Boundless Corridor, another worldly place with connections to the main plotline. The Boundless Corridor is similar to the base camp in recent East games, a place where you can interact with other characters, play minigames and more. Falcom learned a lot from the last 2 Cold Steel games, and it manages its cast and rhythm much better than, for example, Cold Steel 3. Unfortunately, a lot of characters are only relevant to the story for a chapter or even just a dungeon, so sorry Makias fans, and Eliots, and Sharons, and Emmas, and Alisas, and well, you get the idea. However, once introduced they remain playable, although only in the Boundless Corridor until the final story chapter. During the final portion of the story you can create your own party choosing between 40 playable characters. And in the Boundless Corridor you have even more. Luckily new weapons and armors are rare and limited to a few characters, but you do get a constant stream of equipment and orbs, and Falcom didn't quite update menus to deal with so many characters. There are portions in Hajimari where the story drags a bit, but at least you always feel you are working towards something. Story progression is still very linear, with a lot of exposition scenes especially during Rin's and Lloyd's second and third chapters. Hajimari does continue some plot points started, well, even way back to the first Cold Steel, but does tie up all its major events and the game ends in a satisfactory way. Longtime fans will be pleased to see pretty much every character getting his or her moment to shine, even if not during the main story. So, is this the last chapter in the Trails saga? No, you are playing a Kiseki game. What kind of question is that? It might not be the final chapter, but it's a good point where to stop the series for a while. I do have a few complaints though. One is the reveal of who C is. It happens relatively early in the game, and rather than being given hints on who might he be or build up this reveal, his unmasking just happens. I also wanted more interaction between C and his party. Zwin and Nadia are hinted to have a rather long backstory, but it's never fully explored. Interactions between C and Lapis are well done, so I really wanted to see more. I expected some characters to have a more central role in the story. With Rufus attacking Crossbell, I would have expected Julius and Yuna to be in the forefront, instead they aren't even in the party for a large portion of the game. Even Lloyd and companions, protectors of Crossbell, don't receive as much attention as Rin does, and Hajimari at times feels more like Cold Steel 5 rather than a proper union of 3 games. My impression about this might be a bit skewed because I never played the Crossbells games though. Estelle and Joshua from Liberl are there, but don't really have an input to the story. And if you're wondering about the blurred video, it's because I'm masking C's real name and appearance. The Boundless Corridor is the biggest addition to Hajimari, and rivals the main story in terms of available content. There you can challenge other characters to blade, craft orbs, upgrade your Arcus, increase battle resources like maximum brave points, charge meter and available extra characters during battles, undertake missions to unlock further bonuses and items, see self-contained episodes to know what secondary characters have been up to between Cold Steel 4 and Hajimari, explore a dungeon, and do the most important thing in the whole saga: continue playing Magical Girl Alisa. The dungeon in the Boundless Corridor is rather long and full of challenging battles, but a tad repetitive both structurally and visually. Progression through it is gated by story requirements, and the last floors are endgame content. Defeating bosses and mid-bosses is rewarded with colored orbs used to unlock character episodes and even more people to put in your party, and I'd say that everyone with a name from all series is available for recruitment. I've gone a long way detailing the story, but what about combat, dungeons and bosses? Well, the system hasn't changed much, it's pretty much the same as the last 2 Cold Steel. There is a new system called Valiant Rage that uses the charge meter during battles to unleash powerful attacks to make short work of mob enemies, but there isn't much new to say about how the game plays. One thing I will say is that Hajimari is meant for veteran players. Enemies can take a lot of punishment and dish out a comparable amount, and the game requires you to know how to use all available options and when. Items, spells, special attacks, the turn order and its random bonuses. If you played previous games, you'll know what to do right from the beginning, but if you didn't, the learning curve will be very steep. You can always drop the difficulty to easy or very easy if things get too hard, but that will pretty much make battles pointless. And for all mecha fans out there, Hajimari only has one mecha fight, right at the end of the story. Mecha battles were never as fleshed out as character combat, and this one encounter feels like a checkbox to tick more than anything else. Just like the combat system, Hajimari looks and sounds like its predecessors. A few scenes have received better lip syncing, and that's about it. Hajimari no Kiseki continues the proud tradition of giving a lot of costumes and other visual options for your characters, something I will always take advantage of. If you have a Cold Steel 3 and 4 save game, Hajimari will give you even more bonuses and will pick up levels and relationship status. Otherwise, characters will default at level 100 with level 4 links. Hajimari no Kiseki is a good ending point for the Trails saga. The game doesn't hide the fact the series will continue in the future, but all primary plot points are tied up nicely and the game is rewarding to play. There are some dead moments in the beginning, but they are offset by a rather badass final chapter and the ability to compose the party with your favorite characters from 3 game series. This is a good send-up for the fans, and I advise against playing it if you didn't go through the Cold Steel games. There is a large section dedicated to recapping the story of all past 9 games, but it's not quite like playing them. As I write this review, Western players still have to get Cold Steel 4, so Hajimari hasn't been announced yet. But when it is, and you like the other Trails games, totally get this one. You won't be disappointed. I hope you have enjoyed this review and you'll stick around for more. Briareo Skarensky, over and out.
不屈の捜査官魂見せてもらったよ。ああ、共に頑張ろう。リン